Developing right now, President Donald Trump is warning Venezuela that land strikes can start any day now. The heat really being turned up on Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. The U.S. taking control of an oil tanker on its way to Cuba and slapping new sanctions on President Maduro and his family. Well, NewsNation's Robert Sherman is live for us in Puerto Rico. And Robert, what are you seeing from the military buildup there in the Caribbean?
I mean, this has even been described as an unprecedented level of American firepower that is here in the region, which has poured in day after day, week after week. And the indications from the White House are that it won't be going anywhere anytime soon. The military presence is here to stay, especially after you saw the seizure of that tanker off of Venezuela's coast, the Skipper, which is now currently on its way to Galveston, Texas, with the president making good on his promise to seize the oil there. Well, the door is now open, according to the administration, for more scenes like this, which are just incredible to look at in this video that was released by the Attorney General's office. The possibility of more seizures and the possibility of this maritime action expanding to land. Venezuela not going quietly, though. We've seen demonstrations in Caracas this weekend organized by the government in which people took to the streets protesting what they described as Yankee piracy, with President Maduro saying he will not yield.
Venezuela has experienced in these 25 weeks of aggression psychological terrorism, military threats, pirate assault, and kidnapping of a vessel with Venezuelan oil that we experienced in recent days. We have adjusted. We have perfected our vision of the national defense system.
State television in Venezuela has been displaying images and videos such as these of Venezuela's military, drills that have been ongoing, trying to issue a message of preparedness in case these operations do end up coming ashore in Venezuela. The president not tipping his hand as to what comes next, but some Democratic lawmakers want a clear indication as to what the end game is here.
I'm not sure where he's headed here. I do fear that boots on the ground in Venezuela could be a disaster.
One person who is in support of the president's actions, Maria Machado, the Venezuelan opposition leader who's in Norway after winning the Nobel Peace Prize. She says that she's in favor of any pressure, including what the United States is currently doing, in order to try and pressure Nicolas Maduro out of office. Anna?
All right, Robert, thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.